Court reporters, there is a new update to that lawsuit that Teen Mom 2 star Kailyn Lowry filed against her co-star Briana Dejesus that I really wanted to update you on. So The Sun, who is always up to date with their sources, I'm going to leave a link in the description box down below if you want to stop by their website for more details on this. So they're reporting that Kail Lowry's baby daddy Cnris Lopez has officially been subpoenaed to testify in her lawsuit against Briana Dejesus. So just to back things up from the very beginning of this, I wanted to remind you the reason why Kail is even suing Briana. So Kail is suing Briana because last season of the show, Briana went online and said that Kail didn't get to appear in an episode of the show because instead of filming about her arrest for assaulting Cnris Lopez, she was taking the cameras to film about wallpaper and whatnot. Kail decided to sue Briana, claiming that the statements that she made publicly were made with the purpose of causing Kail harm. And so she's saying this might harm her reputation and her ability to earn more income based on, the idea that if she is some sort of domestic abuser. And so Kail actually claimed that Briana, and I quote, has a history of making false public statements regarding Lowry's family life, including when she allegedly responded to a Twitter user, claiming that Kail gets beaten up in front of her children. So we've already talked about this case a couple of times, and I think we've all kind of come to the consensus that it's a pretty frivolous case because this is not the first time that Kail has been accused of beating one of her baby daddies. So the idea that this is the thing that would stop her from earning more money, it doesn't really make any sense. In fact, Kail was caught on camera allegedly physically assaulting her second baby daddy, Javi Mahokin, and she still managed to stay on the show and secure more endorsements and to launch several podcasts and businesses. On top of that, Cnris Lopez is the one who filed a police report accusing Kail of physically assaulting him. And so it's not even like Briana made this up out of the blue, and it's a very egregious statement that she made about Kail. So Briana obviously is fighting back in court against this lawsuit, and she's saying, listen, Kail verifiably was arrested for this, and her arrest garnered media attention. It's meritless and directed exclusively at protected speech on a matter of public concern brought for the purpose of harassing and trying to silence a critic. So the reason why Cnris is being brought into this is because Kail says that Briana claimed that Cnris is the source that told her that Kail had physically assaulted him. So now she's subpoenaed him in order to have him testify in her favor on this case, which I'm actually quite surprised she's doing, right? Because again, Cnris did file a police report accusing her of physically assaulting him. So why would she want him on this case where she's trying to claim that Briana made this up out of the blue? I don't know. It's quite confusing. In fact, I'm going to seek a law tuber to come on this channel in order to break that down for us. So definitely stay tuned for that. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to talk about what Kail is claiming in court for the reasoning behind her having Cnris come on to testify. So again, this is from thesun.com. I'm going to leave a link to their website in the description box down below. But the court papers allegedly say, and I quote, Lowry and Cnris have also been involved in long and contentious proceedings before the family court. This, along with Lowry's order of protection from abuse against Cnris, is all knowledge to Dejesus. No reasonable person would believe Cnris's statements, if they were even made to Dejesus concerning Lowry, were credible. A reasonable person would likely believe that Cnris was making false allegations to obtain an advantage over Lowry in their legal proceedings. Isn't that interesting, you guys? Because, they're kind of claiming, okay, Kail has a PFA against Cnris, so no reasonable person will believe that she could attack him because he's the abuser in their relationship. But at the same token, I'm pretty sure that Cnris had a PFA against Kail. So again, this seems like a very risky witness to kind of hinge your case on, Kail. And not only that, but Briana Dejesus can also potentially subpoena Javi Mahokin to come on and testify about the time when Kail physically assaulted him, allegedly physically assaulted him, right? So I don't know. I feel at the end of the day, Kail is going to spend a lot of money in vain on a case that I think is going to tarnish her name more than Briana's simple, already forgotten statements already have. Guys, what do you think about this situation? Do you think that Cnris is going to be a good witness for Kail's side, or is he going to just end up getting the case thrown out because he can be, you know, kind of questioned from both sides of the field? Do you think Briana will really get petty and ultimately subpoena Javi Marroquin to appear in this testimony? And also, you guys, will this play out in the next season of Teen Mom 2 now that Cnris is also signed up to film? Make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.